3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Houston, we had takeoff. Yeah. Right now, the crew of Artemis II is orbiting Earth after lifting off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida yesterday. They'll head on a 10-day test flight around the moon. The crew of 3 Americans and 1 Canadian are expected to travel a record 252,000 miles away from Earth. But before they can head to the moon, they'll have an intense day of testing the spacecraft systems. Let's bring in CBS News senior national correspondent Mark Strassmann, who is at the Kennedy Space Center. Mark, you were there. I was listening to you. I had my phone. I was glued to it. You're narrating. What did it feel like that moment when it took off? I mean, you had to actually feel it physically.
Hey, Kelly, good morning. I'm glad to hear that you're as into this as you are. It must have been a treat to watch on television, but it was just a completely different experience to be standing on this on the roof of our bureau here at the Kennedy Space Center. We are 4 miles from Launch Pad 39B. We are about as close as you can safely get to watching the launch in person. And with any launch, you watch the controlled explosion, you wait 3, 4, 5 seconds, and all of a sudden this wall of sound comes rushing at you. And then this building starts to rattle. And with a rocket this powerful, it was all of that, but just carried to the very, very next level. It is a sensory overload kind of experience. And I tell everyone, it should be a bucket list to watch a launch here. And if you ever get the chance to see it in person, I encourage you to do it because it is one of life's memorable moments.
And the other awesome aspect of this, Mark, is that all of us can follow the mission in real time. NASA has these live links of the Artemis II mission as they switch between kind of stats of how far they are away from Earth, how long it is to get to the moon. What are the astronauts doing now after they've had their overnight nap? And what will determine if they swing out to the moon or not?
Yeah, the first day, Errol, is, in the words of Reed Wiseman, what he said was it's going to be crazy busy. They're going through a series of tests of the Orion capsule, which, remember, has never been flown by people into space before. So this is a completely new experience for everybody involved. They're especially focused on testing the life support systems. Without that, obviously, you've got major problems. But they need a series of systems checks and tests to convince NASA that they are safe now to make the push for the moon. And so far, so good. I mean, they've had minor issues. I mean, I'll give you a minor one. I think, Kelly, this one struck you, too. Christina Cook got up this morning and said, the capsule's cold. Could you warm it up a little bit for us? I mean, very minor stuff. But they're going to have a series of tweaks and adjustments. They've had a couple of other little things go wrong. Something with the toilet went wrong. They got that fixed without calling a plumber. And so it's really just a day of making sure that everything is working as well as it needs to for this push to the moon that could come later today.
I know. I love that you brought that up again, Mark. We were talking about this on CBS Mornings, and I was like, oh, astronauts, they're just like us. I probably would have been cold, too. I love that that color because we're sort of fiending for every little bit of information. You went through a little bit of it, but have we actually heard from the crew at all inside about how they're doing?
Not really. I mean, I think, yesterday they talked a little bit about how excited they were when they first got to space. Reed Wiseman talked about how at one point he had already seen 2 moon rises. And so, I mean, just remember how quickly they're going around the Earth. Let me give you, when they're orbiting the Earth, 17,500 miles an hour. For context, LA to New York, 10 minutes. So you will see a series of moon rises and sunrises and sunsets that you'll see an incredible number of them just in the 9+ days that they're going to be on this mission. So but by and large, I mean, no news is kind of good news, right? I mean, the crew is working hard. If they had complaints, NASA would have heard about them. But other than a cabin that might be a little on the cold side, everything seems to be going really, really well.
And I'm just checking the Artemis tracker, and it says they are about 225,000 miles away from the moon. So we'll see that distance decrease once they orbit the Earth. And it says they're moving at 2,000 miles per hour velocity. These numbers are just kind of mind-boggling. Mark, we appreciate you guiding us through it all. Thanks. All right, NASA managers, though, will soon decide whether Artemis II can depart Earth's orbit and head off for the moon, as I just mentioned. For more on this big moment, let's cross over to Kris Van Cleave inside the Orion mission simulator at the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
I'm here with NASA astronaut Randy Bresnik. The next big milestone in this mission is the translunar injection, the go or no-go to leave Earth orbit. Randy, what will decide that?
It'll be that the previous, 18-ish hours, 20 hours that the crew has launched into space, evaluated the environmental life control system, the navigation system, the guidance system, propellant system. All those things are 100% ready to go.
If they're not ready to go, is there time to troubleshoot?
There's a little bit of time. The burn has a specific time because of the orbit and the speed, but if there's any issues with the vehicle, we can actually go around Earth one more time for 24 hours. We call it a second revolution TLI.
Now, if you do fire and you go, it's days, not hours, to get back to Earth in an emergency. Does a lunar mission bring more risk?
Absolutely. We are taking humans where in low Earth orbit in the space station, where we've been operating for the last quarter century, we can return humans back to Earth in hours. Once we do that TLI burn, you're making the decision for the next 9 days. I mean, the crew is headed out. They're going to escape Earth's gravity and be driven towards the moon, and then the moon's gravity is going to grab them and then swing them around back to Earth. And so it is a 9-day decision. So that's why we're really sure what we're doing in that decision to burn TLI.
Truly a huge milestone. Back to you.
All right, Kris Van Cleave, thanks very much.
Well, it may have been a bluebird weather day for the Artemis launch, but in other parts of the U.S., people got slammed with a foot of snow. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano is here with a look at the forecast, and he's on a beach.
Yeah, just when you think it's a day at the beach, here comes a Florida shower. So we are at Cocoa Beach, and I can actually see
it is raining.
A 39A from here, where the Falcon took off this morning. So I mean, it's like Grand Central Station at the Kennedy Space Center. They had a rocket launch this morning right after the big one yesterday, which was amazing to see. Although I didn't see it as close as Strassmann did, which I'm a little bit jealous of. Nonetheless, this shower will be over quickly here. It's beautiful. It's in the lower 70s. Elsewhere in the eastern third of the country, that heat and humidity is fueling some storms, and we have a threat for that today. And on the northern side, as you mentioned, we've got a winter threat. So Chicago west towards Des Moines, Davenport, Madison, Wisconsin. I'm worried about seeing thunderstorms that could maybe get up to severe, not just severe status, but maybe have some tornadic activity in there. They'll fire up later today and then press into Chicago. And then tomorrow, the table will kind of reset. We got a couple of little systems that'll be coming through. And as I mentioned, on the northern side of this, we'll have a little bit of ice across northern Wisconsin, a little bit of snow across parts of Minnesota. So April's starting off about as fickle as March ended. But the Florida Peninsula, this part of it at least, still a buzz from the launch yesterday as this little April shower comes through.
Yeah.
Guys, back over to you.
Not going to dampen the excitement at all. Rob, thanks very much. We'll see you later.